The Montreal Canadiens have made the big decision to send Cole Caufield down to Laval and recall Michael Pezzetta. I've got that story and more right here. Hey, everybody, I'm Rick. Welcome to Talking Habs, where you get your daily fix of Bleu Blanc Rouge. All right, so the Montreal Canadiens have made the decision finally to send Cole Caufield down to Laval. It's a big decision for Montreal. Montreal was counting on Caufield to put a lot of goals in the net this season, and that just hasn't happened. In the first 10 games, Caufield is 0 goals, 1 assist for 1 point. He is starting to look like he's lacking confidence out there. His shot on net, when he does get one, is not very good. At the first few games, he was playing well. He was getting shots. The shots were good. They weren't as well placed as they could be. He's still learning the NHL goalies. And then he had a bad game, and I find after that, his shot, when he does get one, just isn't there. It's not going to score any goals, and he doesn't look confident with the puck. So I think sending him down to Laval is a good thing for him. He's going to play a lot. He's going to be in all kinds of situations, and they're going to, get him back into the goal scoring. I don't know what, not routine, but get him back to scoring goals, being confident, and playing the kind of hockey that we know Cole Caufield can play because he did it in the playoffs. If he can do it in the playoffs, there's no reason why he should be struggling like this. Except, the whole team is struggling, and it's just a really bad situation for him here in Montreal, I think. And going to Laval, Laval's playing well. They have a good situation going there. I think this could be really good for him that way. A lot of players, a lot of big-time players have had this happen. They've started, didn't have a great start to their rookie season and had to go back down to the minors and came back out and had great careers. So this isn't Montreal admitting that Cole Caufield was a mistake to draft him or anything like that at all. It's just a horrible situation here in Montreal right now. And why put the kid through that? And you know what? I'd like to see him work it out here. I really would. I think he's an exciting player. He brings a lot to the table. But the way it's going right now, this kid's career could be maybe not ruined completely, but, take a step back. So I think the best thing for him is go down there and get his confidence back. And then he can come back up here and, show us what he's got. I think Caufield could spend a lot of time in Laval this year, maybe even the whole season. I think this is also everybody who wants Montreal to tank. This might be what we're seeing right now, is that they're going to do the things that they need to do to tank. You can't ask the players to tank. You can't. But for the team to tank, the management has to make the moves to make the team not good enough to win. That's basically it. Make the team not good enough to win. That's how you tank. Will they get Shane Wright if they tank? Not guaranteed. Nobody has a guarantee to get the number 1 pick, but there's a lot of good picks there. Maybe this is the season for Montreal to finally just start to rebuild through the draft that way, right? They're having a lousy season. They are a bad team right now. Is it coaching? Is it the players? It's hard to think that it's the players. There's a lot of good talent here, a lot of experienced guys here that know how to play, and they're playing like garbage. So as the games keep coming and the losses keep mounting, you have to look at the coaching staff here. We're 10 games in, and nothing's changed. Like, literally nothing has changed, and I got to start now looking and saying the coaching staff has to be very suspect here in what's going on. So we're going to find out where Montreal is heading. Are they tanking, or are they just trying to find ways that they can make this team good enough to win? I'm not sure. Here's the announcement on the Cole Caufield demotion. The Montreal Canadiens have signed Cole Caufield to the AHL's Laval Rocket and recalled forward Michael Pezzetta. Caufield, 20, has 1 assist in 10 games this season. But last season, in 2 appearances with the Rocket, he had 3 goals and 1 assist and looked quite good, but they called him up, and, he had a pretty decent end of the season here. And, anyway, go back to Laval and repeat what he did in those 2 games over a length of time, and maybe even the rest of the season. Pezzetta, 23, who's coming up, has 3 goals and 6 points in 8 games with Laval in 2021-22. If you remember, in the preseason, Michael Pezzetta looked really good. He brought energy. He put in a few goals. He just brought something that Montreal doesn't have right now. That spark, the kind of guy that can spark a team with a fight, with a big hit, with something like that. He sacrifices himself to spark the team. That's what I saw. And the guy can chip in for some goals. It's time to see what Pizzetta's got. And I thought he impressed me in training camp, and I think he deserves that try. So he was a 6th-round pick, 160th overall by the Habs in 2016 NHL draft. He has yet to appear in an NHL game. So he was practicing with the team yesterday. I've got the practice lineups. We'll get to that. Subscribe and ring that notifications bell. And hey, give a thumbs up. On the Cole Caufield issue, here's his stats here in Montreal. His first season, 10 games, 4 goals, 1 assist, 5 points. And you got to figure that if Caufield was able to put up 5 points in his first 10 games, this would not be happening. But he was not able to do that. He got his first assist the last game or the game before. It just wasn't going well for him. So, this should be a good move. Caufield is a goal scorer. If he's here and he's not scoring goals and he's not in your top 6, then he shouldn't be here. If he's not ready for the top 6 because that's the player he is, then he should be doing that in Laval, dominating down in Laval and then coming back up. That's what it's come to, and that's what they've got to do, and that's what they're doing. On Michael Pezzetta, there's no big numbers here. Michael Pezzetta is not a point producer so far in his career. He is an energy guy. He is a physical player. And then every now and then he can pop in, contribute to the offense. But he's that spark kind of guy that this team needs. They need a spark. They're not getting it from their normal sources of Gallagher, and we're going to talk about him. Anderson's doing his best. Anderson every game. He's trying, but it's not enough. Add a guy like Pezzetta in there, and you get some excitement, some spark in the team going. We want you to become a member of Talking Habs. And then again, if they're tanking, well, this is what you're going to see. You're going to see them change some guys out, make the team in a way that it's going to be tough for them to win so that they can finish in the bottom. And that might be the best thing right now. I don't like it, but I don't want the players to have to tank. You don't ask players to tank. That's never going to be good. But if the team makes these moves this year, the way things are going, let's get a good draft pick maybe. Pezzetta has a great attitude, and this is something when we were expecting Ryan Poehling last year, and he admitted when he got sent down, his attitude was no good. Michael Pezzetta was the opposite. While he was ultimately assigned to Laval to begin the year, Pezzetta didn't get down on himself, focusing instead on being a valuable asset to the Rocket on a consistent basis. He says, my mindset was just to bring the momentum that I had from camp and bring that down into my game over there in Laval. He has 3 goals and 3 assists in 8 games this season. He says, I thought I did a good job of that, kept my identity and made sure I played the same way and showed that I can chip in different areas of the game. He's a Toronto native. I didn't know that, but he really likes the new coach, Jean-François Houle, and he says that he credits him with helping him to accomplish his goals of reaching the NHL ranks, which he is doing. This he'll be playing tonight, I believe. Yes, I'm filming this Tuesday morning. Now, sending Caufield down, this is what one writer says. I don't know that I 100% agree with this, but I'll explain. This reads as a move essentially admitting defeat or admitting that they're going to tank. However, as Pezzetta is not nearly as skilled as Caufield, remember that. And despite his hot start in the AHL, those numbers are probably not sustainable at the NHL level, and they're not. He's not coming up here, Pezzetta, and he's not going to get 3 goals and 3 assists in his first 8 games. I doubt that very highly. The best of him if he does, but you can't see that happening here. He's here to bring that spark, like I've been talking about, that energy, that spark, that physical play that nobody on the team is giving right now. That being said, something was in need to jumpstart the confidence of Caufield, as he's been very visibly frustrated in games this year. And he could perhaps use a drop in competition that would be the AHL to get himself going. And that's what I mean about he needs to go down there and dominate down there and own that ice down there and then come up here to the better, jump a level better competition, and he'll be much more ready. And I think it's going to benefit him a lot. Like I said, I don't know how long that'll be, but if they're going to be tanking, if that's their attitude, that let's get a good draft pick, then he's probably there for the rest of the season. This is the Habs' worst showing, well, second worst. The 2-8-0 start is the worst since 1941-42 season when they were 1-8-1. Here is a list of their worst seasons: 1941-42, 1-8-1, 100. It's a 150 winning percentage. This year, 2-8-0, 200 winning percentage. They did that in 1932-33 as well. And in 38-39, they went 2-7-1 for a 250 winning percentage, which they did also in 2017-18. And if you remember, 2017-18, I didn't look this up, but off the top of my head, that was a horrible season. You got to look and say, this is what's going to happen. It's going to be a horrible season. Teams that start out that poorly the first 10 games don't often get it back during the season, and where they're able to, come back into the playoff run or anything like that. Now, for anybody wanting to see Cole Caufield play with the Rocket, they will not be playing till next Saturday. They'll be in Syracuse against the Syracuse Crunch. So remember that. And remember, I said the Rocket are a better team. They have a better record, 4-3-1. They're playing well, and I think it's going to be a good atmosphere for Cole Caufield to be in to get his ass back in gear. Habs stats for the first 10 games, not good. 30th in the NHL overall. They're a -15. That's a -15 goal differential with 19 goals for. That's 25th in the league. And by the way, that -15, that's 30th. 34 goals against, that's 30th. And if you 19 from 34 leaves 15, that's the -15 goal differential. 27 shots average per game. That's second to last in the league. 11.1 power play percentage. That's horrible. That's 30th. 65% PK. Horrible. That's 30th. Where they were the best at the PK in the playoffs. They were lights out, and then look at this garbage. So I don't know. I don't know what the difference is. 43.8% face-off. In the face-off circle, that's last in the league. It's a problem they had all last year, and it's continuing. And of course, losing Demote doesn't help. Dvorak's not bad, but obviously he's struggling right now, like everybody else. Now, Brendan Gallagher missed the last game, and we didn't know exactly why, and we still don't. But Brendan Gallagher will be reevaluated in Montreal. Could take a bit of time, but we're hoping he's not out too long. I think that's from the coach. Sounds like it could be a core injury, he's saying. That's not good news. A core injury is tough to heal from what I understand. So Gally's going to be out for a little bit. It just gets worse. Cedric Paquette suspended 2 games for that boarding call on Trevor Zegras. I don't disagree with that. That was a bad hit, and he should have been called on that. Problem for me is this. If you remember Sami Niku's first game, I think it was Josh Norris from the Ottawa Senators. Remember, hit him into the boards. He crumpled. He was out with a concussion. That hit is almost exactly the same. There was no penalty and no suspension on it. I'm going to show it to you here. Check it out. Evil Corp quote. Let's be clear. Our officials are not only the best hockey officials in the world, they're the best officials in any sport. Evil Corp. Now, besides the fact that they are evil and Gary Bettman is evil, and he proved it in his little press conference thing that he did, Mr. Robot reading the script, he looked like maybe he's related to Mark Zuckerberg. I think Mark Zuckerberg might be his grandson or something. Anyway, so that hit was exactly the same. Hit him right on the numbers, into the boards, and the guy got injured. Why was there a suspension on the Habs player, not on the Senators player? Wonder. Anyways, just thought I'd show you the comparison. So Paquette out for 2 games. Doesn't help. We're decimated in the ranks as far as for players to play. But if you're tanking, it does help. And so maybe that's what, maybe it's a good thing. Matthew Perreault has been placed on the injured reserve. The Canadiens also placed for Matthew Perreault on injured reserve on Monday. 33-year-old center is expected to miss 2 to 3 weeks with an eye injury. He had 3 goals and 1 assist in his 8 games, and the 3 goals all came in 1 game. But again, another body, another experienced guy down and out. Again, helps with the tank if that's what you're doing. But they're being decimated in the ranks. It's a good thing there's depth here this year. Let's see how it works. But if you're looking for a tank, maybe you don't want the depth to be good. Some notes. And the reason I'm showing you this is that Matthias Norlinder has recovered from his injury. He rejoined his teammates at practice for the first time since training camp. And I read something it might have been from Ducharme, that Norlinder should be ready. And it's a chance that they're going to check him out in a couple of NHL games. So anybody who still wanted to see Norlinder, and we might get the chance to see if Norlinder actually is ready. They definitely need the help on defense. There's no bodies until Edmondson comes back, especially. So I have a feeling that Norlinder, he's been off for a month. So if you give him some days, maybe a few days to practice, 3, 4, 5 days, and I think they might throw him into a game. Now, the practice lines look insane from yesterday. Jake Evans with Nick Suzuki and Tyler Toffoli. Mike Hoffman with Drouin at center. So I did a video about it earlier in the year before the season started. People thought it was nuts. They're going to try Drouin at center. Is what it looks like. Josh Anderson on his wing. Christian Dvorak down to the third line center. Lehkonen on his wing with Armia on the other side. And then Brooks with Pizzetta. And it says Cedric Paquette, but from what I understand, since I filmed it the morning of the game, they just called up Alex Belzile. So Alex Belzile will be playing on the wing on the fourth line. That's what I think. Defense: Sherratt and Romanov, Kulak and Savard, and Norlinder with Weidman and Niku. Now remember, that's in practice. Petrie had a what do they call those? He's out for a therapy day. So Petrie was out for a therapy day. That's why you're seeing that. So Petrie would be in there. And then Montembeault, don't worry, Allen is in net. Allen was probably working with the goalie coach. That's why it was reported this way. So that's the practice lines. This is what John Liu is reporting as the practice lines as well. And I think this is what you might see, because now you see Niku and Weidman there together. Norlinder as the extra. That's how it would be. And you just got to change Paquette with Belzile, and that's probably your lineup. I don't understand why they're playing Suzuki and Evans on the same line. 2 centers, and you're short of centers, and you're playing one on the wing. Not like Evans can't play third line center, so I don't get this. We'll see how that works out. Now, my last comment on Gary Bettman. Gary Bettman said this in the press conference, I think yesterday. Hockey culture does not encourage, but in fact prohibits this type of activity. That's sexual misconduct. That's what he was talking about. Andrew Berkshire, who's a writer, says that tell that to the myriad of victims Graham James left in his wake. Graham James was the guy that I think was Sheldon Kennedy, assaulted him numerous times, and it's thought that it's Theo Fleury was the other guy. He's in jail. Farhan says, hockey culture promotes silence. Stay in your lane. Focus on what's best for the team. Don't be an individual. Don't draw attention to yourself and away from the team. If you do, you will be chastised and marginalized. Now, this is true, and that is exactly what happened to PK Subban, in my opinion, here in Montreal. PK Subban, not your run-of-the-mill hockey player, a little flashy, liked the attention, liked it, whatever, and that didn't work for Montreal. I think that's what happened to PK Subban right there. So, anyway, that was just my little commentary on what's going on in the NHL. Gary Bettman has to go. That's it. Gary Bettman has to go. Hopefully that'll happen, and maybe the NHL will be a little less evil with somebody new at the helm. Thanks for watching, everybody. Hope to see you at the pregame show. Take care. Ciao. Peace out. Subscribe and ring that notifications bell. And hey, give a thumbs up. Thanks for watching, everybody. Hey, check out that video over there.